Hello and welcome back to another episode of Whispers of the Dark. I am your host, 𝕬𝕤, and today's case may shock you. In fact, I guarantee after hearing about all the bizarre details of this case, you'll probably agree with me. Today, we're going to travel down south to the Ozark Mountains and explore what happened to a family who went on a hike and ended up becoming the subject of a nightmare. And I'm not exaggerating at all here. This story is truly insane. So on July of 2025, Clinton and Kristen Brink decided they wanted to take their two daughters out for a day of fun and adventure at the Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas. For those of you who don't know, this state park is located in the beautiful Ozark Mountains, and it has some really cool attractions such as waterfalls, caves, and plenty of hiking trails. In fact, this park is a very popular tourist attraction, and people flock from all over the country just to experience its natural beauty. Clinton, his wife, and their two daughters set off on one of the many hiking trails within the park, and things started out pretty normal. But after around half a mile, the family suddenly came under attack. While Clinton, Kristen, 7-year-old Aspen, and 9-year-old London were walking along the trail, they reportedly heard some noises that made them stop in their tracks. Whatever these noises were, they were enough to scare Clinton and his wife to the point that they began to run for their lives. And they weren't alone. Their two little girls ran alongside them. Now, Clinton and Kristen are experienced hikers, and they knew the terrain very well. So while running for their lives, the couple thought that they could outrun whatever it was that had scared them so badly. They knew the land better than anyone else. But unfortunately, their efforts proved futile, and whatever was chasing them caught up to them quickly. But that's not even the weird part. Stay with me. It's gonna get way weirder. Apparently, when Clinton and Kristen realized that they couldn't escape whatever was chasing them, they each grabbed one of their daughters and then split up. Yeah, I know, that sounds crazy. Why would they do that? Well, it looks like they were trying to confuse whatever it was that was chasing them. And honestly, good luck trying to chase for people in 4 different directions. Even if you can, I don't know how you would go about doing that. But anyway, that's exactly what happened. The two girls described their attacker as a tall man wearing camo pants and a black hoodie. After Clinton and Kristen managed to shake off their attacker, they frantically called 911 and told authorities that they had been attacked by an unknown man and that their daughters were missing. Of course, police officers immediately launched a search and rescue mission, but they didn't find anything. Nothing at all. They searched high and low, but there was no sign of the little girls anywhere. As hours passed by, Clinton and Kristen became increasingly worried about their daughters' whereabouts. They were scared that they had been kidnapped and taken away, but they just didn't know where their attacker had taken them. Because the forest is so dense and because there are so many hiking trails throughout the park, it seemed nearly impossible for the police to find the girls. I mean, they literally had no idea where to start looking. Eventually, the search and rescue mission was called off and the case was handed over to the local police department. At this point, everyone was asking the same thing. What had happened to those poor girls? Had they been abducted? Were they being held somewhere against their will? Or even worse, had they been harmed in some way? No one could say for sure. As days turned into weeks, the police continued to investigate, but they hit dead end after dead end. They interviewed everyone that Clinton and Kristen knew, but no one had seen anything suspicious. And they also searched the Brinks' home, but they didn't find anything useful either. All they had to go on was the testimony of Clinton and Kristen. But then, out of nowhere, a witness came forward and told the police that they had seen a man who matched the description of the alleged attacker carrying 2 girls out of the woods. He had supposedly seen this man on a security camera, and he had recorded the footage. When the police looked at the tapes, they saw that he was right. On July, a man matching the description given by the parents was seen carrying 2 girls out of the woods, but this was just the beginning. Another person also came forward and told the police that they had seen a man matching the same description, acting suspiciously in the area. Apparently, this man had been seen loitering around the park, and he had been talking to himself. This person had thought that he was just a strange man, nothing more. But now, knowing what we know, they realized that he must have been the man responsible for the disappearance of the 2 girls. But who was this man, and where did he go after taking the girls? The police checked missing persons reports, and they found that there were no reports of any missing children that matched the description of the 2 girls. And they also checked hospitals, and they found no record of the girls having been admitted. This meant that the girls were still out there somewhere, But where? And then finally, after almost a week of searching, the police were able to track down the man on the security tape. They tracked him to a small town around 30 miles away. They went to the house where he was staying and they conducted a search. And guess what they found? They found the two missing girls in the basement of that house. I know. How crazy is that? When the police entered the house and went to the basement, they found the two girls tied up and gagged. Thankfully, they were still alive. And I'm sure that this was such a relief to the parents. But they weren't done yet. The police also found the man who had taken the girls and they arrested him. The man was identified as Andrew Mann, a 28-year-old teacher from Texas. According to reports, Andrew had been living in a hotel room in the area and he had been attending a conference. But this wasn't his first time in Arkansas. In fact, he had been in the States several times before. According to the police, when they questioned Andrew, he admitted to taking the girls, but refused to tell them why he had done it. He also said that he didn't know the family, and that he had no reason to harm the girls. But despite his claims, the police believe that Andrew had planned the attack and that he had specifically targeted the girls. You see, when the police searched Andrew's room, they found several items that belonged to the girls. And they also found a lot of disturbing stuff, too. I'm not going to describe it all here, because it would make this video way too graphic. But let's just say that it wasn't pretty. In the end, Andrew was charged with 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 2 counts of terroristic act. He is currently awaiting trial, and he is being held without bail. So now you're probably wondering what happened to the girls, right? Well, thankfully, both girls are now home with their parents, and they're recovering from their traumatic ordeal, but it's safe to say that they will never forget what happened to them. As for Andrew, well, he is still refusing to talk to the police, and he is still claiming that he doesn't know the family. But I think we all know that that's not true. I mean, why would he have taken items belonging to the girls back to his hotel room, if he didn't know them? Unfortunately, we may never know the true motive behind the attack, but I have a few theories of my own. I think that Andrew was fixated on one of the girls, but when he saw that the parents were with their kids, he got angry and decided to kidnap them both. But again, that's just a theory. What do you think really happened? Do you think Andrew acted alone, or was someone else involved? Let me know in the comments below. Sadly, this case is still ongoing, and as far as I can tell, it has not been solved. I will keep you updated if anything new comes up. And with that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Bye.